Hey, TGIF, welcome everybody. So happy that you're all here today. We have a really exciting topic to cover. It's one that I'm really passionate about, and I always love when I get to sort of pivot a little bit, although I love talking about nutrition and I love talking about holistic health. Well, there's a very big aspect of holistic health, but it's a little different than sort of just recommending, different foods and different lifestyles. This is more on the holistic side of things, which I'm really, really passionate about. And I can't wait to share all of this with you. My name is Shari Packard, which I probably should have started with. I'm a holistic nutrition and health coach. I've been on the council with the Million Mom Movement for almost a year and a half now. I'm joined by my amazing council members, Naiva, Dominic, sorry, Ashley, and Grace. And I mean, I could talk about what being a council member means to me. Besides the fact that I, love Purium superfoods, both as a mom and as a holistic coach. They've filled the gaps for me in terms of what I get to recommend to clients and how easily I can help, how simplified that help has become, how I help to empower people. And I get to reach so many more people this way. First of all, because it's so doable on a daily basis, adding these superfoods into the busiest of lifestyles, I can definitely contest to that personally on a personal level, is so easy to do, but it also just fills all of the nutrition gaps. So you don't have to worry, you don't have to overthink it. Going to a health food store doesn't have to become a treasure hunt or a scavenger hunt, right? You have the highest quality nutrition literally delivered to your doorstep on a daily basis. And so not only does it help me with clients in this way, but also joining forces with like-minded people in a community like this is a game changer. And it's a level that I never really thought of when I was building my holistic health coaching practice. I didn't think it was necessary, and boy, was I ever wrong. This part of what we do is so meaningful, and it provides me with so much inspiration. Just our weekly meetings as a council provide me with so much inspiration for the week. And then when we get to share what we put together with all of you here, and we get to share and not just give you guys information, but hear so many of your stories, it's something that is truly priceless. And so with that, I would like to call on Mallory to read our pledge before we get started. A little sharing
Yeah,
difficulty.
yeah. I'm here and ready to read.
Awesome. Thank you. Oh, there you go.
I pledge to defend the health of myself and my family. I pledge to choose organic foods that are minimally processed and free of man-made ingredients. I pledge to read labels and educate myself on all aspects of clean living. I understand that my actions today will positively impact the health and environment of future generations. I am committed to sharing this movement of many. I am the Million Mom Movement.
Thank you so much for reading that. Can I further put you on the spot for a minute to just share a little bit about what the pledge means to you?
Um, it helps me to remember and tune into how powerful we all are and our ability to really make big shifts and changes in the world, even though we feel small sometimes, but we're all connected.
I love that so much. And that's such a great gateway to this topic today: connection, being connected, turning within, and relying on or learning how to tap into something bigger than us, bigger than our thoughts, bigger than the world we see around us. So, with that, I'll ask Dominique if she can pull up my slides, please. It's always a team effort. I appreciate it so much. Awesome. So today we will be speaking about the heart. And usually in a health a family health presentation that I would be speaking of on the topic of the heart, it would be focused on the physical heart and how it helps our physical health. And while I am going to touch on that because one always influences the other, today I'm going to ask everybody to see the heart as more than simply the organ that pumps our blood throughout our body. Okay, because today we're going to be talking about the wisdom that the heart holds. And I just want to give a quick, a little background explanation as to why this is a topic that I'm so passionate about. A couple of years back, when I was first stepping into being a health coach, I was meeting with a life coach myself, a life and business coach who was just, helping me and guiding me through all of the big first steps. I had a lot of limiting beliefs I had to get past, etc. And she also happened to be a shaman, and she did a bit of, I guess, I don't know what they call it exactly, reading of my soul, or sort of reading about what my purpose is. And I'll never forget the words she said, "You are a teacher of the heart." And she's like, "You're supposed to teach people your passion, your sorry, not your passion, your purpose is to teach people about the heart." And at the time, I didn't really know what she meant by that. And I was like, "Oh, okay." It's so funny how ever since then, so many times throughout my journey ever since, the heart has come up for me. These teachings of the heart's wisdom, connecting within, living a heart-centered life, making choices from a heart-centered place have been so much a part of so much of my journey since. And I find that when I talk about it, I have, more of this passion that's starting to develop, where it's like people need to know this, because I have implemented so many of what I'm going to be sharing with everybody today. I've implemented that into my own life, and the results I see are absolutely incredible. And it just keeps getting better and better, the flow, the connection. And so, yeah, so as a teacher of the heart, we're going to be talking about the heart's wisdom and how to unlock vitality and well-being through the heart's wisdom. Go ahead to the next slide. So first off, did you know that we actually have three brains? So I remember before finding Purium, I knew we had one brain. And then through Purium, even though I was already a health coach, I had never been taught it quite like this before. I learned that the gut is the second brain, or we can even argue, I'm sure we would all agree here on the Million Mile Movement community, that the gut is probably our first brain, right? So we have the brain, we have the heart, we have the gut, we have the head, and then we have the heart. Yes, the heart is also considered a brain, and this is why. So all three of these brains play a vital role in our emotions and our decisions and our overall health. So where the heart brain is concerned, it actually contains 40,000 neurons and sends more messages to the brain than it receives from the brain. And so it influences our emotions, our intuition, and our resilience. The gut brain, which is again the one that we're probably most familiar with here in the Million Mile Movement community, is home to over 100 million neurons and a vast microbiome. It produces neurotransmitters that regulate our mood, digestion, and our mental clarity. And then we have the head brain, which is the center of logic and reasoning, but it's deeply influenced by the heart and the gut. You can go ahead to the next. So here's a couple of facts about how learning how to connect with our heart and become heart coherent can actually help us in our lives. So research done by the HeartMath Institute identified a physiological state called heart coherence, which occurs when our breathing, our heart rate, our brain rhythms, and hormonal responses are in sync and all working together. So it's that delicate balance, it's the interconnectedness. The heart generates the strongest electromagnetic field in the body. It's about 5,000 times stronger than the brain's magnetic field, and it extends several feet outside the body. And by learning how to connect with and harness that power, you can unlock better physical health. It helps to balance your hormones. It helps to reduce stress levels. It slows physical aging. So it slows the aging process. And you can see that in your skin. You feel it throughout your body and your energy levels and your organs. It also helps with better weight management and improved digestion. But the benefits do not end there. So here's a quote from the HeartMath Institute, and this is from Dr. Childress. He is the founder of the Institute. And he says, when we're engaged with our hearts, the mind slows down and our thoughts become more rational and more focused. I'm sure we've all had times in our lives where even if we've never experienced this true connecting within and connecting to the heart center, there's been times in our lives, right? If you just pause, maybe, during a difficult moment and you take a deep breath, you kind of feel a sense of ease come over you, or, a peace, a peacefulness. It might not last very long or longer than you would like it to, but just enough to give you that little bit of intuitive knowledge, that little kind of like knock at the door of there's more here, right? And there is something about focusing within that can help, and it becomes really possible and becomes more obvious to us when when we're able to slow down and take some deep breaths. We can see how it can actually affect and have a positive effect on our physical health, right? Not just our emotional and mental health. So we were taught in schools to develop thinking skills, right? Such as math and logic, problem solving. As a result, most of us spend all day, every day, relying solely on our minds to solve real life problems and make big life choices. The mind is also where our ego lives. And the ego has us always thinking small and thinking very limited. We compare ourselves to others, we form unhealthy attachments, we procrastinate, self sabotage. This is also, by the way, where we are constantly looking for dopamine hits. And so this is where we'll turn to screens, we'll turn to alcohol, we'll turn to drugs, any type of avoidant behavior, because we're looking to feel better, right? We're always looking to feel better. At the core human basic needs, we want to feel good. We want to feel love. And the problem is that we're always searching for these things outside of ourselves. So it's actually the process of tuning in, and through developing this heart coherence, you start to recognize and really be able to feel that we actually don't need anything outside of ourselves. Everything we need is within. So thoughts like these rob us of our peace and our power, and they also disrupt the delicate balance of the body, keeping us in fight or flight mode, which we know increases inflammation in the body, but also causes chaos to all of our organs and our systems. So quite literally, our thoughts could be making us sick. But we now know that if our thoughts could make us sick, could they not do the opposite? Could they not help keep us well or create health, right? If we can go to the next slide, please. Thank you. So here we talk about the more heart-centered approach and how we can start adapting it and why it's so important too. So first off, across ancient cultures worldwide and spiritual traditions, the heart has long been seen as the gateway to the soul. Some even see it as the seat of wisdom and divine guidance. When we quiet the thinking mind and we drop into our heart, we access a deeper inner knowing that leads us towards a more flowing, abundant life. Also known as the true higher self, the heart guides us towards what is right for us in every area of our life. Tapping into its wisdom is key to alignment, clarity, and fulfillment. And guys, this is not woo, this is not kind of oh, well, it's nice and there, it's a nice idea, but, how does just tapping into my heart supposed to help in all of these areas of my life? But it's actually backed by science. And this is actually what I've had the most fun over the last week doing, is looking into all of these studies. And actually, when we repost this Zoom, I can link all of the studies that I read through in case anyone else is kind of nerdy like me and likes that kind of research. But it's absolutely incredible to see just how much science is now backing this up. Research published in the American Journal of Cardiology shows that simply by directing our focus to the heart, we can begin rewiring the nervous system. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system. It reduces stress. It promotes it promotes physiological harmony and overall well-being. So just while we are sitting here talking about the heart and just hearing me speak of the heart, we're all sort of putting a bit more focus on our heart, on our own hearts, than we perhaps would normally do in a day. And just the act of doing that, you are already starting to rewire your nervous system. Some of the other studies that I didn't publish here, that I didn't add to the slides here, showed that in one study, they took a group of people and they had them for just 5 minutes go through the heart-centered meditation, which we will be doing together here. And over the course of about 3 to 6 months, there was visible changes in their nervous system, in their cardiovascular health. It was truly amazing. Blood pressure rates went down, cholesterol levels went down, inflammation biomarkers reduced. So that is how powerful even just taking a couple of minutes to focus on the heart can be. Okay, go to the next one. All right. So this is where, if you feel called to, I just want to give you a quick, we'll go through a shortened version of the meditation, but this meditation truly fits into your daily lifestyle like our superfoods do, because you can do this for 2 minutes, for 5 minutes, or you can sit for 15, 20 minutes if you wish. We'll go through it and then I'll give you some examples of times that I use it throughout my day. And so it really is a beautiful tool, and it really starts to open your heart, and it starts to really open that connection, that pathway to heart coherence. So if you feel called to, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. And the first thing that I'm going to ask you to do is to focus in on your heart. So drop down to your heart and just put your focus there. And now I'm going to ask you to start breathing, but imagining that you're breathing through your heart, as if your heart is the muscle that makes us breathe, okay? So we'll do 3 breaths. We'll do 3 times this breath. So we'll breathe in for a count of 5, and then we'll breathe out for a count of 5. So I'll count for you. And breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now you can continue to breathe normally, still with your focus on your heart. And I want you to recall, we're going to call in the emotion of gratitude, of appreciation. And we're going to do this by recalling either a person, a place, or an event that brings up that feeling of gratitude for you, or that feeling of unconditional love. So once you have that idea, and don't overthink it, usually the first thing that comes to your mind is the one to go with. And once you have that thought, hold on to it, focus on it, and let yourself start to feel that appreciation coming from your heart center. It'll feel different for everybody. For me, it's like a tingling, a warm feeling in the center of my chest. Now, once you have that feeling, you're feeling it in your heart, you can go ahead and drop the specific thought of the person, event, or place, and simply hold on to that thought of that feeling of appreciation in your heart. And we're just going to breathe and feel that feeling. If at any moment the feeling goes away, you can recall that person, place, or event again to feel that feeling of appreciation. Okay, you can go ahead and open your eyes now. All right. So that is in essence the meditation to start feeling that heart coherence. And every time you do it, you're going to you're going to get better at it, right? It's like anything else that we start practicing. It's a practice. And with time, you'll see that you can drop that person or place or event in your mind a little quicker and don't need to go back to it, a couple of times. Um, and the idea of what it's doing is that it's just bringing everything back down. It's putting, it's letting your heart lead the way in essence. And there's so many times, some of the time, like this is a great meditation to do first thing in the morning to start your day with. And again, it could be for 2 minutes, for 5 minutes, for 15, 20. It's really up to you. First thing in the morning is a great time to do it before you respond to a text or an email that was perhaps triggering for you. Before making any big decisions that you're unsure about is a really, really I think very impactful and very helpful time to do it. It's helped me many times in situations like that. Before hosting a presentation, I did this very meditation before coming on here. I still get nervous talking in front of people, and it's funny because my purpose is pulling me in this direction of doing these types of talks and presentations more and more. And I've had to really work at trying to get out of my own way. And the ego thoughts, like we talked about in the previous slide or two previous slides, are really loud sometimes. And doing this meditation before a presentation helps me get out of my own way. It's not about me. It's not about what people think of me. It's about me providing value for you. And so being heart-centered before doing something like that is, I've found it to be incredibly, incredibly helpful. Other times could be at the end of the day. It's always a great time to settle in and fall asleep in a heart-centered place. Or even when your kids or a loved one or anybody is challenging you in any way, if you're feeling angry or frustrated or impatient, these are all great times to take a minute, find a quiet spot, and just breathe. Start breathing through your heart. Find that feeling of appreciation. We can go to the next slide. I love that, Ashley. I just read your comment here, feeling golden. It's funny that you should say that because that was a feeling the first time that I did that meditation for myself. When I felt the feeling of appreciation, it felt like a golden warmth, a golden light. So it's interesting that you said golden. Love it. So now we're going to go into lifestyle and diet tips to support a more heart-centered life. So yes, of course, there's going to be things that you can do in your everyday that are going to help support more heart coherence. So some of those are drinking raw cacao and cinnamon lattes. These warm spices and herbs are so important. They help your digestive system, which if your digestive system is out of balance, it affects all of the communication within your body, and it just prevents you from really feeling grounded. And we need to feel grounded in order to connect with our heart. So raw cacao and cinnamon lattes are great for this. Drink warm lemon water in the morning as well. Another one that just helps to clear the body first thing in the morning, rehydrate the body after a good night's sleep. Lots of greens. So plants are very high vibrational foods, the highest, right? Living food. And they're also, they have a very high influence energetically. And so the more greens that we can get into our diets on a daily basis, the more we can start connecting with the heart and living from a heart place, living from a heart-centered place and starting to make our decisions that way from that place and seeing the flow in our life. So greens, lots of juices, smoothies, and including greens in the meals that you make, like spinach, cilantro, parsley, kale. Think dark green leafy greens. Omegas, so healthy, nourishing fats. We also drinking ginger tea in the evening. So I've recently incorporated this one. I have a ginger tea every single night. It's great for digestion. It's a nice warm spice, so it warms your insides. You feel nourished when you're drinking it, and it helps, again, just with the grounding, especially in the evening. Cleanse your body of toxins and address your gut health. These two go hand in hand, of course. We have an amazing program that focuses on those two things, which I will get to in the next slide. But the reason why it's so important to detoxify your body and get your gut health in check is because, I mean, we know that the gut is the epicenter of our health. We know that the gut communicates not just with the brain, but now we know that the gut also communicates with the heart. And so everything needs, in order for everything to be flowing, we need to get rid of all of the toxins that we are exposed to on a daily basis. Something crazy like 700,000 toxins a day. Some we can avoid, some we cannot. And so ensuring that we are cleansing and helping support the body's natural process of detoxifying is so, so important. A daily protein shake with quality plant-based protein. I cannot stress that last part enough. We don't have to worry about that here in our community with the amazing variety of plant-based proteins, which again I'll get to on the next slide. But a daily protein shake is great as well. Stretching for 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes. If you can do more, great. And I probably should have also added to that one, like getting outside, get outside in nature. If you can, go stretch outside in nature. If your environment doesn't allow for that, like right now, it's like -14 here. I'm not going to go outside and stretch, but you know, there's still ways. Go for a brisk walk. Stretching your body, movement is so important. Obviously, it's going to be very important for the natural flow that we're trying to tap into here with the heart. But we already know that it's extremely important for our overall health and for the physical health of of the heart, which again we weren't focusing on in this presentation necessarily, but obviously it goes without saying that if we want to be able to have heart coherence and we want to be able to tap into the wisdom of the heart, we of course need to ensure that we are doing everything we can to keep the physical health of our heart in shape as well. And movement is one of the best ways that we can do that. Increase your fiber is another one. Hydrate, which I talked about with the warm lemon water. You want to ensure that you are keeping your body hydrated. It helps with removing toxins. It just helps the natural flow. Every organ in your body needs water, right? So we need to be hydrating. Grounding and gentle sunbathing daily. So grounding, one of my favorite activities that I do with my kids in the warmer months here is to go into our backyard periodically throughout the day because my kids have been homeschooling and my business is from home in my basement office here. I don't have a lot of sunlight. I have two little windows, not much comes in. So I make a point of going into my backyard periodically throughout the day. My boys join me and we go barefoot on the grass, on the ground. The soles of your feet touching the earth is incredibly grounding for the body and so important. And the sunbathing, I say gentle sunbathing because I'm not suggesting that we go outside between the hours of 1 and 3 and sit there for the hours of 1 and 3, but we do want to make sure actually studies show that the earliest we can go out, that early morning sun is the most beneficial sun for us. So the earlier in the day that you can get out, the better for a couple minutes at a time, is really all you need, but it's so powerful. Eating more raw fruits and veggies, especially sprouts. We love sprouts because sprouts contain about 75% more nutrition than the full grown vegetable. So sprouts are always a great addition. I'm very big on maximizing the amount of nutrients that you get in a day without having to do too many things. And sprouts is one of those ways that we can maximize any meal. Throw a couple of sprouts on top, and you're already increasing the amount of nutrients by so much. And then strive for simplicity. This one I cannot stress enough, and it's often overlooked, but striving for simplicity, decluttering your home, your office, your schedule, even go as far as saying your life, your relationships. All of these things greatly affect our body, our physical health, emotional and mental health, but it even affects us on an energetic level. And so we want to be so aware of everything and how it's affecting us. We want to be really, really protective. And, some of the ways you can do that is to start taking a look at, in relationships. Once you walk away from somebody after having been with them for a while, do you feel uplifted? Do you feel inspired? Or are you feeling drained? It doesn't mean to cut that. It doesn't mean that if you're feeling drained, you have to cut them out of your life, but it's about creating boundaries, healthy boundaries that help to support a healthy lifestyle, a healthy body, and to keep your vibration high. Everything has a vibration to it. Everything in our world has a vibration to it. And And the higher we can keep our vibration, the higher we keep our energy, the more we connect with our heart, the more life just seems to flow. And yes, there is so much that we can do physically for our health. And I will always advocate for empowering yourself and shifting your diet and your lifestyle, toxins in your environment, to become more aware of the products you put on your skin, et cetera, et cetera. But you can do all of that and you can perfect it, and it still doesn't guarantee that you are going to be abundantly healthy, because we cannot overlook this aspect that is less talked about, that is less understood, that is less focused on. And I think that oftentimes people resist it because it requires too much. It's a lot of change. It's about examining limiting beliefs. It's about getting past the ego, which is really hard. It's hard work, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it. And this is an area of our health, of holistic health, that I love talking about, because it's so important, and we just need to be aware. Start becoming aware that there is something outside of us, right? That we can connect with, in terms of the energy, and that how that comes from within. And when you're coming from a heart-centered place, you're going to see that your interactions with people are going to be so different. You're going to see that your work day is going to go so different. You're going to see that your relationship with your kids is like, oh my gosh, they're usually like bouncing off the walls at this time, and now they're like so calm. And you really start to see areas of your life change. And we can understand that the more stressed we are, the more we walk around in this fight or flight mode, and so disconnected from ourselves, which we all do. We've all done it. Um, we can understand how it does contribute to things like inflammation in the body, right? And how inflammation over time creates acidity, and this puts us at a vulnerability for dis-ease in the body. And so it's not just about what we take in from the outside in terms of our food, but it's also about what we do from the inside out that's going to have the biggest impact. And on our last slide, I put together some of the recommendations of superfoods that I believe really support this heart-centered life. So the first one that is an obvious one is the ultimate lifestyle transformation of your choice. This is how we get that cleansing. This is how we support the body. This is like a first step, a metabolic reset. It's going to help support your gut. It's going to help support all of getting all of those toxins out. So for me, this is an obvious one. The power shake in the ultimate lifestyle transformation. When I think nourishing greens that support heart-centered living, I think power shake first and foremost, number one. Of course, the biometic in there is what we're going to want to be taking to support our gut health as well. Apothecary for our amazing sleep, which is an important factor in just, trying to obtain that clarity. And we'll jump over to heart aid, which, I mean, that's an obvious one, right? We're talking about heart health. And like I said, even though we spoke more on the spiritual, holistic side of the heart, the physical health of the heart is going to be just as important. And we're going to want to ensure that we are doing all we can on both aspects. And so, of course, heart aid is a great one. It has so many amazing herbs that support the physical health of the heart. I can't beat this. I mean, for its oxygenated properties, just the way it helps you get more oxygen into your system, into your blood. Of course, that's going to help support a healthy heart. Dark berry, I put there because first of all, it's protein. So we want more plant-based proteins. But I love the dark berry because of how many antioxidants it has and healthy fats. So it's a great combination. You're getting a whole lot of nutrients that help support a heart-centered living while also, of course, supporting all the other areas of your health. Plus, I love the how convenient it is that it also has a dose of biometic in there. So if you don't want to be taking too many things, you can drop the biometic capsule if you're having a dark berry protein on a daily basis. Barley green juice is another one, and so is the kamut. I think I'll talk about them at the same time. So these are other just really, when I think nourishment and greens, these two come to mind as well. Barley green juice has so many amazing health benefits. So does the kamut. I love the idea of wheatgrass. I used to chase after wheatgrass shots They're not easy to find. They're extremely expensive, not fresh, right? So probably the living enzyme count in there was probably at like close to zero. And if you try to juice it yourself, I mean, you get very little juice for a whole lot of wheatgrass, right? It's messy, it's not convenient. So the kamut was very exciting to me when I joined Purium. It was one of the first greens that I ordered. And of course, there's something about the ancient wheatgrass that just, I don't know, it just speaks like high vibration, right? And so why not? Why wouldn't we want to add that in to help support our heart-centered life? What else is there? The daily fiber, because it's important to get more fiber into the body. It helps with detoxification. It helps to slow down the breakdown of starchy foods and sugars. Cocoa mint spirulina, well, I mean, it pairs another nourishing green with the cacao, which is what I talked about earlier about making those cacao lattes. Try making a cacao latte with this. So delicious, amazing. Um, did I miss any? Oh, there's yeah, one of the packs. So the green spectrum with the aloe digest and ionic elements. Obviously, we want to ensure that we are getting our minerals. Just drinking water isn't enough. We're all lacking in minerals. Our soil, unfortunately, is lacking in minerals. So we want to ensure that we're getting those in. And another, the green spectrum, all of those sea veggies, it's nutrient packed. And so those are my suggestions for a heart-centered life. And I'm going to now stop talking and I'm going to open it up to my council members if they wanted to add anything to the overall presentation or about the superfoods or anything.
Yeah, I just wanted to share. I love this topic. I know when we talked about, or when you said that this is what you wanted to share, I was so excited because I love looking at the heart as, yeah, your connection to yourself, your love as energy, and the meditation that you did was amazing. It really helped me just slow down and felt a lot more at peace and in my body. I'll tell a lot of my clients too, yes, to do some type of centering or meditation in the morning, but I have found the most powerful change in doing meditation in the middle of the day, which you mentioned, when you get a text message or an email or something from someone that can kind of throw you off. But usually that's the time of day when we're just kind of like scrambling and we have a lot of things going on. So to really just ground back to yourself and breathe into your heart, that was amazing. So thank you for that. I'm going to definitely share this with other people to do. And yeah, all those superfoods are amazing. Like you said, the power shake, the greens in general, like that's the color of the energy of our heart. And really being able to have something that's so convenient that you can just add in and really feel grounded, but yeah, connect to the things that you love. I've been talking to a few people lately who are in a depressive state because they're losing their jobs unexpectedly, and just sharing like, one, how can you love yourself, or how can you find things that you love that you can pour into, your passion and your gifts. So I really feel like when you're doing work that you love, that pours into, that can really transform your health. So I'm glad that you mentioned, that part. And I love that you are sharing your purpose and your passion through, this opportunity call and just the work that we do here with Purium, because that's how we can really raise the vibration of the planet, is doing the work that we love and that we're called to do. So amazing. Thank you so much.
I love that. Thank you. And yeah, I 100% agree with the middle of the day. I think that's such a great time because that is the time where we are most in our thinking minds. And there's lots of benefits to being in our thinking minds, don't get me wrong, but it's completely out of balance, right? We spend way too much in our thinking minds and we're making every single decision from that place. And that place, like I said, also houses our ego. And so often we're self-sabotaging ourselves and not even realizing it, right? And so often things can seem overwhelming and difficult and impossible even, but if we would just take a couple of minutes and start breathing through the heart and start getting heart focused, oftentimes like the answer appears, like it's just there. You just have this knowing. It's not like, magically it just, shows up word for word, but it's more like that you get that, or sometimes it does, hey, like, but you just get that feeling. It's like a knowing where you just know the direction that you need to go in. And yeah, I think that if we can incorporate that into the middle of that of our day, it would be a complete game changer for the rest of our day. For sure. Thank you. Naiva, I know you're off camera. I'm not sure if you can talk.
Hi, yeah,
Yeah.
what a beautiful presentation. And I really loved being able to get centered into our heart space and, just really take a moment to reflect on what we're grateful for. And it's just such a profound thing and something that we've put into practice and talked about a lot is just even having like a gratitude journal, right? And like really making it a daily practice. And this is really a good, thing to do prior to that is getting into your breath, getting into your heart and then into the gratitude, what you're grateful for, and then being able to tune in to like making notes on that just for yourself. Because sometimes when we write things down, it really helps them to manifest, right? Or even just writing down the gratitude can really help you to sink into what that means for you, right? That feeling of gratitude and that actually is like attraction to the people around you that you're wanting to bring into this community when you're grateful for what you have and what you've created and the community that we have and the superfoods and our new water solution to put in our water and all these things and our family and our children and all the different things that we have gratitude for, right? It can really help us to hone in on the things that we want to manifest and attract even more of that into our lives. And so I really love this practice. It's really beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. And that gratitude journal is a great one. Yeah, just getting your thoughts out on paper and, really, again, it's not just any thoughts. You're helping to direct your thoughts, right? Because you're asking yourself to focus on appreciation. So not about all the millions of thoughts that are running through our brains on a daily basis. And it's really refocusing and asking one thing of yourself, which is to focus on appreciation. And the feeling of appreciation is one of the highest vibrational feelings you can feel, right? And when you even, I mean, you can take the meditation a little bit further after you've been doing it for a while and you feel like you've really you've got a solid take on it and at the end of the meditation you can do two things. You can first ask your heart, if there's any question, anything that's weighing on you that you'd like more guidance on or you'd like to become clearer about. That's a good time to ask your heart for its wisdom, in that particular area, and then be open to anything that might come up for you either right away or in the time following that can actually, that you, and getting that wisdom from the heart, or you can focus that appreciation that you feel in your heart outwards. And you can direct it to specific people, or you can just direct it out into the world. And again, it's that idea of like, how do you change the world? Well, one act of kindness at a time. Like, we all think that, just us by ourselves, what can we really do to make a difference? But, you multiplied by a million is huge, right? You doing one act every day um, does absolutely make a difference. And, when you walk into a room and you get a sense of that room, like if somebody with a high vibration who is happy, who is heart centered, you're going to notice that person. There's just something about them when they speak, or you want to hear more, you want to be around them, or you have someone in perhaps your like group of friends or in your family, or that you just love being around that person. You always leave them feeling uplifted and happy. Like so those feelings it's very powerful. When you do all that you can to live a heart-centered life, you are projecting that out into the world. Either way, people don't have to agree with it. People don't even, but and they won't be able perhaps to verbalize it, but on a subconscious level they are benefiting from it, they are feeling it, and so that's really important too. And I think we can copy paste that to what we're always talking about with our superfoods, right? It's not about trying to convince anybody. It's just about going out there and doing and sharing, and those who are ready for it will hear it and want to take part. And even for those who don't, you still are creating something, you're planting a seed. So Ashley, we see you on camera. Do you wanna
Hello.
share?
Yeah,
Yay.
I did. I wasn't planning to, but I've gotten a little burst of energy because of your meditation. So thank you so much for that. I wanted to speak on grief because of being a certified grief counselor, and this whole practice is just so necessary when it comes to regulating the heart. when you think of grief and when you think of stress, even in any way, shape, or form, all of that is a dysregulation, and it makes your heart, if you even just think of like when you feel stressed, that makes your heart beat irregularly and erratic. And so when you can take this moment, just like you had for us to do, to just breathe and meditate and focus on gratitude, that really brings our heart into coherence. And that is where we can build more resilience, and that's where healing happens. And also that's just an act of self-compassion to take that moment for ourselves and reconnect. So thank you so much for doing that. And I love this whole the direction that you took this call. It's so vital. And you were showing up in your zone of genius and excellence. So thank you so much for showing up that way for us.
Thank you. That means it's a lot. Thank you. I just wanted to touch on what you said there about healing, right? That can happen when you hit that level of heart coherence. I think that is so important too. You know, if the science shows, and again, like I said, there's so much research now that shows just the act of talking about the heart, like we're doing here, and it's forcing all of us to put more of a focus on it than we perhaps do on a daily basis. Just that act alone is actually starting to rewire the nervous system. Can you imagine, what else it can do? I think that the research is amazing, but it's still in early stages. And so I think that, yes, for healing, for repair, focusing in on the heart and achieving that heart coherence, I would go as far as saying it's a vital step for our overall physical health and well-being. I didn't see Grace. I don't know if I haven't seen her.
She's
Okay.
not on here today.
No, okay. All right. So, we do have a couple of minutes. I want to open it up to any questions, any comments, or anything you want to share. It doesn't have to be a question, a comment, something you want to share, something you resonated with or felt throughout the call. Put it out there for anyone. Oh, Melody, go ahead. Or actually, we have to unmute you, right? Hold on. Okay. That work?
Okay, here. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm hoping you can hear me. Okay. Um, I'm so grateful for this today. I just did an advanced cardiac panel, and I get the results on March 10th. I go and discuss it with my doctor. So this is perfect timing for me. And I'm hearing the grief counselors share a little bit was extremely helpful to me. I just had a daughter pass away.
I'm sorry, Melody, you're a little.
It's sent from heaven. That's all I can say. And I'm so grateful for this call today. So thank you for letting me share.
Oh my goodness. I just can't just say I see Mallory laughing. I think it might be
Sorry.
for the same. No, not at all. I think it's just amazing how it was very choppy, your connection. I think we got the gist of what you were saying, but then at the very end when you said it was sent from heaven, like that was as clear as day. And no, so that was just I was just
Okay.
commenting on the beauty of that. But I'm really sorry that you experienced that kind of loss. And yeah, I believe that all emotions, all hard emotions, do get stored in the body. Grief is one. I mean, Ashley can speak more to that than I can, but from my experience with grief, I lost my nephew when he was 3 years old a couple of years ago, and that was the biggest test and the biggest amount of grief I've ever felt. And I do believe that, no matter how many times you face it and you work through it, there's layers to it. And yeah, they can get stored in the body. Absolutely. And I'm really glad that you're on this call today, and that, you received this information where exactly when you need it to, like, there's no coincidence. So thank you so much for that share. Ashley, I don't know if you quickly want to speak to.
I would love to. I actually got a lot less than everyone else. I didn't hear anything about a loss, so I'm so sorry, Melody. I will say, um, from just hearing what Sherry shared, um, when you are experiencing a loss of any kind, and this can go for anyone, some simple things that you can do, just actionable steps to take, is being able to make a list of every memory you have and keep them in order if you can, of the dates that they happen. Keep in a list of all the memories you have, good and bad, and then take a moment with that list to say all of the things that were needing to be spoken at that time that you didn't get a chance to say. And that is something that can really bring emotional wholeness. I really move away from the idea of closure, because we're moving beings and things change, relationships change, even when the loved one we have lost is no longer with us. That definitely still changes. 1 second, love. Good job, baby. So that changing is going to be fluid. I'm so sorry, 1 second. You did not put your shoes on the right way. I can help you in a little bit, or you can keep them now. But just 1 second, okay? Needs to happen now. So what I was mentioning is that list that you've created. Go ahead and now arrange that list of unspoken things. Try to keep out questions, because questions kind of keep us spiraling. So statements and meaningful statements, any apologies that needed to be said, any acknowledgements of things, or just meaningful statements of appreciation. And even if there's negative things that needed to be said too, say those things and get them out of your body so that you can start to heal from it. Then put that all into a letter, and that letter that you're going to write out, have a trusted friend be an empathetic witness to that and listen to that letter for you. And they don't have to say anything. You can tell them, I don't need your input or anything. I just need you to be my heart with ears. And you're going to listen to that letter. And then after that, I want you to say goodbye to that letter. And you can do that any way you need to, if that's going into your little bonfire and putting that in there, or shredding it. Or another really cathartic thing I do is I tear it into little pieces, and then I put it into water, and I let it sit in water until it's completely mush and it's gone, and there's no more of those things. And that's not that's not going to completely take care of everything. However, it is a great way to at least feel some wholeness. So I hope that helps. And I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Ashley. Appreciate that. I appreciate your knowledge. I see that Mallory, I think we have time for one more. So Mallory, you want to, there you go.
Hi. I'm just glad to be here. Today I'm going through a big transition. I just moved pretty far away from where I previously lived for 10 years, and just readjusting and learning myself more. And I'm just really thankful that, like, I haven't been on a call in a while, and I got a text message saying Million Mom Movement starts in like 15 minutes. And just really thankful that, like, this community is here, and feeling called to lean back into my business, because I have a lot of faith in this community and in this lifestyle. And it's just been, my business has moved really slowly throughout the years, but I'm still here. And I'm just really thankful that I'm not alone and that like this community is here. So, and I also am really thankful for the topic today. I've been feeling this sort of these two very different energies in my life and imagining harmony come between them, and it kind of like the call was kind of focusing on the inner stuff and the outer, um and bringing harmony between like within them both together. So yeah, that's all.
Thank you so much for sharing that. No, you're not alone. Clearly, there's so many here, and you got some love in the chat to check out. I'm so happy that you're here. And again, I don't believe in coincidence. So you joined this call because it, is a topic that you resonate with and that you said you're working on already in your own life. So I'm so happy that you're here and thank you for sharing. We did have somebody else with their hand up, but I'm not sure. Michelle, did you
At
still
the
want to
top
share?
of our call, so we're going to go ahead and close out now. But it
Oh,
was such
okay.
a beautiful
Sorry,
presentation.
Michelle.
Yeah,
You can write it in the
so
chat, or when we post a replay. Go ahead, Naivas.
absolutely. Yeah, amazing presentation. Thank you, everybody that hopped in and shared also your gratitude and what you're going through. A really great community to tune into. And so we'd also love to just invite you to participate even more in the different aspects of our community, as we're all here. Each and every one of you is a part of the Million Mom movement. And if it's your first call that you're attending, please make sure and reach back out to the person that invited you here, because they invited you here because they really care about you and they thought that this would really inspire you in your life. And we have an incredible community that we'd like to invite you to. And so you can like our Facebook page at Million Mom Movement, and I'm going to take you there in a minute. Also join our Facebook community group, which is Million Mom Movement Official. That's where the replays get posted, along with any links that Sherry has, where she got this different research and different inspiration for this topic today. So you'll be able to find all of that within that group when we post the replay. And then, of course, follow us on Instagram. That's where our events for our weekly Fierce Fridays are posted, as well as reposting so much of our community's content. And to be featured on our page, you can use our hashtags, or you can tag us in the comments of your post or in your stories, so that we can reshare that on our stories and on our pages to really feature you as part of our Million Mom Movement community, because each and every one of you here is part of the Million Mom Movement and you make us stronger. We're stronger together, right? We're better together. And then last but not least, go subscribe to our YouTube channel so that as soon as the replays are posted, you'll get the replay link in your email. You'll always have access to those replays. We also have nearly 300 replays available for you. So if this inspired you here today, I want to invite you to go and find those replays and find the ones that, really speak to you and what it is that you're looking for as solutions or things that you can share with your community. And then last but not least, I would love to invite you all to go over to our Million Mom Movement Facebook page. So let me just share the link with you. Give me 1 second. Oh, I can't do it while I share my page. Let me come back and share this link. So I'm going to invite you to click that link and go over to our Facebook page, which I wanted to show you how easy it is for you to feel like you know what's happening next. So if you go to our Facebook page, down here under featured, there's our upcoming events. And so I want to invite you to right now click that link, come over to our Facebook page and click on the events. So right now, this is the one that we're attending at this moment. So the second one, Ashley is going to be leading our first presentation in March, on March 7th. And you can click on that and you can go ahead and join this presentation. So next week, we want to invite you to come support us on our Friday presentation with Ashley, Nurturing the Nurturer, Power of Self-Care. This is a focus on postpartum moms and being able to take care of ourselves during that time. So right now, I want you to think about, who do you know that is currently pregnant or postpartum, or even, maybe doulas that midwives that people that are in this realm of supporting others that might be in this time of life. Start thinking about those people now and reaching out to them and inviting them to our next presentation. We want to help you to not only grow your business, but to grow our community and to share these presentations with the people that we can inspire. So we want to invite you to go ahead and join the event, and you can see what all of our upcoming events are. You can see, what we're saying about the event. So if you need any of this information, you can go post it on your different social media platforms to promote it yourself on your own pages. So we want to invite you today to go to each one of those events, make sure that you join the event and that you go ahead and share it on your pages or your different channels, however you want to do that, share it in your stories, and then let's ripple this out into our community. So start thinking right now of who you can invite to the next 3 presentations that are up. And we'll just keep those events are always rotating on the Facebook page. So just always tune in there on a weekly basis. If you're not sure who to reach out to, then just go look at what our upcoming events are. So that can inspire you as to what our next presentation is going to be about, because these are really for you to grow the community, your own community, as well as our Million Mom Movement community. So I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Any last words, Sherry, before we close out?
No, no, not at all. I think that I'm just so happy to have been able to share this, that sort of passion of mine on the side of holistic health and nutrition that I usually focus on. So thank you all for being here and have a great weekend.